You pled guilty to murder. You don't use that word.
I think that I had a lot of trouble accepting that word for a long time. I accept that that's what it is.
Do you consider yourself a serial killer?
I guess it depends upon a person's definition. If it's more than one and it's a pattern, I guess, then yes.
Lidocaine is a double-edged sword. In the right hands, it can help patients with heart disease live longer lives. But if an overly high dose is ever administered to a healthy patient, it quickly becomes fatal. The heartbeat slows, blood pressure drops, and a cardiac arrest ultimately takes the life of the person who receives it. On June 11, 1988, this is precisely what happens to John Yengo, a 72-year-old retired judge who dedicated his life to public service. Minutes after Cullen injects lidocaine into his bloodstream, he is found unresponsive by a night nurse despite being about to be discharged from the hospital.
And why this happened?
Felt like I needed to do something. And I did.
Later that night, Cullen's family welcomes him home with open arms and a warm homemade dinner. When they sit at the dining table, his daughters, Saskia and Shauna, notice something odd in their father's demeanor. He seems happier, lighter, finally present in the moment.
I guess you had a great day at work, honey.
Yeah, I saved someone who was deeply in pain.
Yet, no matter how much peace Cullen feels in that moment, the compulsion hasn't left him. It is merely holding its breath, waiting in silence for the next chance to strike. The next day, when he approaches one of his oldest patients, a simple look at him makes Cullen unsteady. Slowly, the urge to kill starts to take over his consciousness. It is inevitable. From 1988 to 1991, around 20 unexplained deaths among patients at St. Barnabas start piling up without explanation. Elderly men, recovering patients, and even those with mild pathologies were found dead after their IV bags were overdosed with either lidocaine, digoxin, or insulin. Surprisingly, it takes the hospital's administration over 3 years to acknowledge the situation and initiate a formal investigation. When they finally go over the victims' files and medication logs to see who had been on duty during each suspicious death, the investigators find a very surprising common denominator: Charles Cullen.
What is wrong with you? You're staying up all night, talking to yourself. You're scaring our children, and what you did to our dog? How could you?
Shut up, Adrienne. Stop complaining. Leave me alone.
As 1991 turns into 1992, the hospital's final internal review determines that Cullen's access to the medication rooms coincides with every contaminated IV bag under review. There is no doubt in anyone's mind now. It has to be him. But just when Cullen's incarceration seems inevitable, the administration makes a surprising decision. Instead of reporting him to the police, they decide to let him resign, allowing him to work at any other medical institution without punishment. That day, the higher-ups at St. Barnabas made more than just one big mistake. It was a decision that gave birth to one of the deadliest serial killers in the history of America.
After Warren Hospital, I wanted very much to quit being a nurse, but they were telling me that I was a deadbeat dad. I had to continue to support the children.
Once the St. Barnabas investigation is over, Cullen strives to get his life back in order at Warren Hospital. For more than a year, he suppresses his urges and blends in with the medical staff who are clueless about what he is capable of. At the same time, at home, Cullen tries to be the loving father and husband he once was. He constantly apologizes, overcompensates, and clings to the illusion that everything is fine. Yet, despite his efforts, Cullen's marriage soon reaches a breaking point. In January 1993, Adrienne formally files a domestic violence complaint that details physical abuse, threats, and erratic behavior that occurred throughout the course of St. Barnabas's investigation. Three months later, she finally divorces Charles and keeps custody of both Saskia and Shauna. Without his family to support him, Cullen sinks into an isolated and depressed state. For him, life has lost all meaning. So, during a cold January night, he makes a radical decision.
I need an ambulance at Hillcrest Apartments on South Main Street, Phillipsburg, right now.
Luckily for Cullen, due to Adrienne's constant complaints, police officers were monitoring his house and were able to rescue him from ending his life. As a result, after being diagnosed with major depressive disorder, he is forced into a psychiatric ward located on the outskirts of the city. For over 2 years, he attends daily group therapy, starts taking antidepressants, and undergoes rigorous evaluation. But instead of learning from his mistakes, he leaves the facility with a surprising resolve. He decides to embrace the darkness inside of him.
I never really liked being who I was. After my mother's death, I didn't cope with it very well. Mother was the only person at that time that sort of kept a cushion between what was happening. With her gone, I just felt very unprotected.
After leaving the psychiatric ward, Cullen becomes the most prolific serial killer in American medical history. From 1993 to 2003, he works at 9 hospitals across New Jersey and Pennsylvania as an ICU and cardiac care nurse. Throughout this time, forensic analysts estimate that he killed up to 400 patients, leaving behind a trail of innocent victims and hundreds of shattered families. For years, suspicion follows him from one hospital to the next, but no institution dares to speak up. They quietly keep firing him, avoid accountability, and let him move on, all to safeguard their reputation and financial interests. Depressed, exhausted, and utterly disconnected from reality, Cullen becomes a hollow shell of a man, someone driven only by the compulsion to take another life. When he sees the light fade from a patient's eyes, a quiet calm settles over him. It's a short-lived sense of control, of purpose, of being untouchable, a deceptive sense of meaning. But despite coming to terms with his demons, Cullen's transfer to Somerset Medical Center turns his life upside down. After just a few weeks at the hospital, he meets 38-year-old Amy Lochan, who, just like him, is a single parent with 2 daughters. Bound by a unique parental bond, Charles and Amy quickly foster a genuine friendship. Once work is over, they grab coffee together, go on walks, and she even trusts him to babysit both of her daughters.
Thank you for helping me out, Charlie. You are the sweetest.
It is my pleasure, Amy. Do you need help on any other day?
Actually, yes. Are you free on Wednesday evening?
With Amy now in his life, Cullen begins to believe their bond is the only thing that can save him from his darkness. Just as with his first marriage, he hopes she will give him the strength to overcome his demons and perhaps someday be like everybody else. But when Cullen wakes up the next day, he no longer feels the same. He finds himself overwhelmed, unsteady, and angry at life. When he goes to work that evening, such feelings only grow further. During that shift, Florian Gall, a 68-year-old former priest, is admitted into the ICU after undergoing heart surgery. As usual, Amy is assigned as his primary nurse, while Cullen volunteers to assist her.
You have nothing to worry about, Amy. I'll take care of him.
Determined to find the truth behind Father Gall's death, Amy decides to review his medication records and lab results. Here, she discovers that, at the moment of his death, Gall's digoxin levels were abnormally high. As she bursts into panic, Amy calls the New Jersey Poison Control Center to investigate a possible toxicity. After explaining the situation to Dr. Stephen Marcus, he immediately makes the case a police matter and alerts the Somerset Prosecutor's Office. Very quickly, Detectives Tim Braun and Danny Baldwin are assigned to lead the case. When they meet with Somerset's Risk Management Director, Mary Lund, she agrees to release the internal medication reports. At the same time in these meetings, they suspect that, before meeting Amy, Cullen had killed at least 2 other patients at the hospital by overdosing them with insulin.
What'd you tell her? Do you remember?
I just told her that he was released from several facilities. There were allegations about him at other facilities for doing similar things that were going on at Somerset Medical Center. And I guess at that point she realized this couldn't be a coincidence.
And she offered to help.
Yes.
Danny pushed this piece of paper across the table to me, and it was the Pyxis printouts. And I was devastated.
On December 12, 2003, Cullen heads to Somerville, New Jersey to meet Amy for dinner. But unbeknownst to him, she has agreed to partner with both detectives, Braun and Baldwin, to wear a wire during their date. At 8:30 p.m. on a cold winter night, both Cullen and Amy arrive at the restaurant. When they see each other, he decides to hug her for the first time. As they do, Cullen immediately senses that something is off.
How are you?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Amy is nervous and agitated, struggling to keep her composure. She could never have imagined that her friend Charlie would be capable of such a thing. More so when she trusted him with her own daughters and actually considered him a dear friend. But despite being shaken by her feelings, Amy catches her breath and cuts to the chase minutes later.
I had a problem when I first started out. An incident with low blood sugar, and at Warren Hospital, a patient had died 24 hours after I had been her nurse. Someone had said, the son had said that I injected her.
And what about Father Gall? What happened, Charlie? What happened?
I can't.
I know you can. I see you and I'm not stupid, so... Why? You're so good. Why? Let me help you.
But just when a confession seems imminent, the wire attached to Amy's back stops working. In the midst of despair, Baldwin and Braun have no other choice but to make a risky move. Despite not having solid proof, they arrest Cullen, hoping for a confession. When they arrive at the interrogation room, he falls for the detective's plan and believes that he has already been caught. Suddenly, Cullen wraps himself up, pulls his knees to his chest, and starts screaming.
I can't. I just can't.
For over 30 minutes, he shakes and cries, constantly repeating the same phrase.
I just can't. I can't.
Frustrated by Cullen's unwillingness to talk, the detectives decide to use their trump card.
My life as I know it is about to end. Because I'm being implicated. You get to be my hero today. You get to do that, you do. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Did you kill Father Gall?
The atmosphere is tense and fragile. As Amy reaches out to Cullen, nobody moves. The clock ticks loudly, and the silence grows heavier with every passing second. Finally, Cullen breaks.
Yes. It was me. I injected him with the digoxin.
Minutes later, Baldwin and Braun interrogate Charles.
You indicated that you suffer from depression.
Yes.
Is there any outside influence, outside voices or anything of that nature telling you to do things of this nature?
I don't.
Okay, that's just a question I have to ask, obviously.
I don't hear any voices telling me to do anything. I don't have any sort of second personality that would have done anything. Like I said, I just have, for the most of my life, suffered from periods of depression.
You wish to plead guilty this morning.
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mask, would you be kind enough to elicit a factual basis for the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you inject Ms. Stoker with any medication?
Yes.
And was it your intent to cause her to expire?
Yes.
And what agent did you use to accomplish that intent?
Digoxin.
Okay. You had access to that patient at Somerset Medical?
Yes.
And you injected that patient?
Yes.
Without authorization?
Yes.
With the intent to cause death?
Yes.
And in fact, that patient died?
Yes.
And the agent employed by you was?
Digoxin.
One day, without you even knowing it, your life will end. And what legacy will you have left behind, sir? A serial murderer, serial killer. You ruined the lives of your family, your children, and many people in this courtroom. You've bloodied and stained the medical profession. Absolutely abhorrent what you did, sir.
Your Honor, count 4 charges the defendant with the murder.
And I still can't really comprehend it. A registered nurse who was supposed to be a caretaker took the life of my brother for his own personal, selfish, and twisted gain. Charles Cullen, you are a coward. I am very brave for standing here today, but you yet cannot even look me in the eye and face me.
You are hereby sentenced to New Jersey State Prison to 2 consecutive life sentences, which, with the application of the No Early Release Act, that is NJSA 2C:43-7.2, mandates a period of 85%, or approximately 127 and a half years of parole ineligibility.